We are ready, Lu and Javier. We're ready to go.
Thank you, Gabriel. Hello, everyone. My name is Sofia. I'm here representing Team Labs together with Javier. And we're aiming to tell you a little bit of the different programs that we have. So as to begin, maybe we can present ourselves. Thank you, Gabriel, for the opportunity. Javi, you wanna start?
Hi everyone. I could not listen to you very good, Lucia. I don't hear you.
Okay. Gabriel, did you hear me?
Yes, yeah, you're both coming in very clear. No worries.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. Thank you, Gabriel. I'm Javier de Miguel. I'm sorry if my voice sounds like a distant relative of Frankenstein, but I have a cold. But luckily it's not COVID. Fortunately. Yeah, I'm Javier de Miguel. I'm the person who leads the transformation processes within Team Labs. Well, my personal background, I came out of the AT area. I work with IBM Spain, National Netherlands Bank, and Santander Bank within the technology areas. And well, tired of the internal bureaucracy and see how people were treated like numbers of material resources. I started in the world of entrepreneurship, run my own projects in many different countries like Spain, Finland, Germany, England, USA, Mexico, India, or China. Yeah. Being in contact with that multiculturality, I discovered my taste of with the process of change and transformation, being able to read the context, the underlying systems, and generate change that allow people and organizations to move in other directions. For this desire, or for this passion, this had to lead me to work alongside with large corporations such as LinkedIn, Tecnológico Monterrey, Naturgy, São Paulo here in Spain, but also to explore with local organizations to running local projects with a direct impact on people's lives, such as non-governmental organization in India, local education associations in Mexico, or small technological laboratories in China, in some specific regions of China, like China is a huge region. Well, along this path, I realized that the more experience I accumulate, the less I know, total Dunning-Kruger effect. But yeah, that's me. And then Lucy, I don't know if you have to present yourself before to continue.
Yeah, thank you, Javi. Well, I'm Argentinian. I met Gabriel there, but we were working together at San Andreas School. I'm very passionate about transformation processes, either in the personal or the professional area. I have studied different things, political sciences, social and educative interventions. I came here to Spain in order to get more involved into the educative innovation world, and here I have had different experiences, focusing a lot also on the emotional education world, which is one of my most deep passions in life. I have worked in a company that is called Alwa, working with different projects, promoting like all the life abilities, entrepreneurial abilities, critical thinking. And nowadays I'm a facilitator at Team Labs. We're accompanying a transformation process in a university called São Paulo CEU. We will tell you more about this process, which is really passionate because we are accompanying teams in their transformation, and also the whole organization. The idea is that eventually we can leave and that they can acquire all this training and abilities that we are promoting. So that is a bit about me. I'm still studying. I'm a learner for life. So That's our intro. Now I'm gonna project this before I couldn't. I don't know why it doesn't let me, but I'm gonna try again.
You can't see your screen? Oh, there you go.
Now?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yes.
Nice. I was worried. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
the company where we work at. Javi, you want to start?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. As Lucia said before, we are a laboratory of learning. You know, like I think that we are living in an so extreme uncertainty times. We need to learn again and again, try again and again, fail again and again, and then start again. And I think that this is the main reason because this is the main reason because we define as a laboratory of learning. You know, like Team Labs was born 10 years ago with the vision of becoming a radical learning laboratory. Radical means from the root, you know. In this laboratory, the laboratory allows its user to help in order to navigate the society of the unknown. You know, like it's like the book, a concept of about the book of Harari. In other words, space for project experimentation and constructivist dialogue from which to recover the human instinct of learning based on experience and in you know, like in a collaborative way. Go back to work from your own autonomy and leadership as the engine of change and learning, because for us the change it's our main purpose. You know, to do this, its founder, people who came from different areas such as culture, architecture, technology, and education, open a space in Madrid with in a partnership with Mondragon University, which belongs to the Mondragon Cooperative, the largest cooperative structure in the world, with more than 280 member companies and more than, you know, like almost 100,000 workers in the worldwide. I think that this is a so famous study case in many universities. You know, in order to generate traction and momentum in this kind of laboratory, they import an educational model from the Timi Academia school in Jyväskylä, Finland. You know, like Finland is world famous because of his model of education. You know, like in Finland, the model of based on learning by doing is so famous and it's spread in the whole system in the whole cities. In this school in Jyväskylä, university students get together to start entrepreneurial projects in a multidisciplinary and collaborative way with the aim of solving society's problems. You know, like one of the key skills that they are forecast in the next 10 years is one could be complex problem solving, and well, Timi Academia started to do this maybe 20 years ago. You know, like I think that they don't have subjects, they don't have exams, they don't have teachers, just real projects. But all those projects in team. You know, like I think that the project, like the artifact, in order to put all our intentions, our own leadership, in order to achieve our goals and in order to develop our skills. This model is important to Spain and becomes the official Lane University degree. Lane means leadership, entrepreneurship, and innovation. For this degree to work, it is necessary to create a culture of continuous experimentation, collaborative work, and strategic learning, aim at moving the project forward. Like I think that for us, the project is all, and also the project is at the same level. That project, the team is also all. In our degree, you could not achieve your objectives if you do this alone. You need at least 3 or more people, because I don't know if you know that the theory of I don't know how can I don't remember the loop of well, I don't know, maybe I remember later. Beyond of that laboratory culture, the model requires a different accompaniment. Like I think that because the people are so young, people they don't know each other, but we don't know. Like we don't create that with this kind of a specific culture, with this kind of specific requirements. We believe that we don't need teachers as like as the like the the well-known concept of teacher. We need another figure, another role. We call facilitator. This is a accompaniment that facilitates the process of team thinking, team working, team speaking, team talking, in order to work much more to the systemic part, as Donella Meadows teach us, than to classical coaching. Sometimes it's easy to match those concepts. You know what I mean? I think that okay, you combine this kind of teams with coaches. No. It's a different approach, because coaches focus on individual. Many times we prefer to call team coaching, and I strongly recommend the book of Donella Meadows, Thinking on Systems. I think that this is very, very incredible book. Yeah, this is our particular culture that we build around our students. We think that we prove that and sometimes we test that create the same culture in different universities, in partnership with different universities, and it didn't work in the same way, because the culture is everything for our specific requirements. We tried with Tecnológico de Monterrey, we tried in China, we try in Mexico, we try in other different parts of Spain, we try in India, and I think that it didn't work in the same way that we need, because the culture is all for us, and also because we need a different type of mindset, and sometimes it's difficult to find this kind of pupils, of this kind of the entrepreneurs, because you have to mix the two things: the passion about learning from everything, from the context, from the books, from the people, doing network, doing projects. And I think that not all the people have this kind of skill and this kind of mindset. And also, we need just not the people. We need the context in order to deploy all this culture. And I think that this is not easy. But I think that we are a very specific, very specific laboratory. And I think that this is something weird. And as this kind of model, as I mentioned before, is imported from Finland. We are in many places in Spain. We are in Malaga, in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Bilbao, in Irún. There are also another laboratories in Korea, Berlin, in Querétaro, in Mexico, in Puebla, Mexico. There are some partnerships in Boulder, Colorado also. And we try to span our mindset from different parts of the world. And I think that because with our mission, our mission is to is to deploy our mindset through many different parts of the world. As part of the context that we live in, the challenges that we are facing in 2020, sorry, with the crisis of coronavirus, TINLabs going to a step further step. You know what I mean? I think that we need to rethink all our models, rethink on our purpose, rethink all our deploys. And to do that, we think that we need technology. And because of this, we make an agreement with Singular. Singular is a partnership as a technology consultancy, one of the biggest in our country, in Spain, and also have another offices in Singapore, Chile, Mexico, United States. There are 3. I think that the scale up of this company is amazing. In 2 years, they multiply by 2 the number of employees. There are just 1,300 approximately. I think that the numbers are personally like that. The way of thinking and the way of doing is very similar to TINLabs. They think that create a model of self-leadership, of self-learning, in order to face with the challenges in the actual world. You know what I mean? I think that with this kind of agreement, we create new programs, new ways of thinking, and new ways of doing, in order to face the challenges of the world. Like the complexity of the world, and you just can imagine that if you are just acting local, your impact is it's not tiny, but it's not huge, and our mindset is like impact in a big figures that you could see in a slide that maybe Lucia could also show you, and there's some figures that you could also see that in our 10 years history, more than 2,000 TINLabs, more than 25 million raising fundings for our graduates, more than 50 million of raising for our graduates companies. Well, there are so impressive numbers, and because of that, Singular think about, okay, we need to join us and then create new things, because I think that because you are creating a huge impact in Spain, but also you could also create in the world. And to do that, in order to do that, we need to impulse and to inject some technology of your design principles that Lucia showed you before. Lucia, could you press the next slide? Yeah, the next one. Yeah, this is that's it. And this is one of our more than principle design principles. I think that I prefer to call like constraints. You know what I mean? I think that because if we don't do with design constraints, then we don't feel comfortable at all, because we need to work as a team, take care of the team, deploy as a team. We need to communicate, to design together, to connect with the ecosystem, because, for example, Singular is not a company of one, it's a company of 8 companies. It's a result of the it's a joint venture of 8 companies. I think that as the same way that we learn from Mondragon Cooperative, we do. I think that this is our way of thinking. I think that we think that if we don't face the challenges together, we could not solve meaningful problems. You know what I mean? And I think that this is the principles of TINLabs, but I prefer to call constraints. And I think that maybe Lucia could explain more about which programs we provide.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Javi. Can you hear me well? All right. So I'm gonna make like a bit insight into each of the programs that Team Labs has. Lane was explained a little bit by Fabi, which was also a student from this degree. It's an official degree in leadership, entrepreneurship, and innovation. The company is a learning vehicle because students are not regular students. They create the company from the beginning, and they deal with real projects, real clients, real billing, and they also travel around the world. So this degree is like studying in different cities of the world, so that they can discover new perspectives and connect with different business cultures. So as you see, the team is like really, really important because they are always working in groups. And well, it's an international official degree. It's 4 years long. It's certified by Mondragon University. And some of the key aspects are self-management, creativity, communication, and dialogue, and also this aspect of working with the team in real life context. So it's really like intense and diverse as well. We will allow for questions afterwards. Here you can see a little bit of the ecosystem and the different places where we're having an impact. Then we have LEADS, which is an official master in learning and innovation facilitation. The idea is that professionals can acquire a new profession that is not a coach, not a teacher. It's the art of facilitating processes. It's a radical learning experience. It's also certified by Mondragon University. And it's very important here that society is demanding us to face new challenges with new tools and new ways of doing and thinking. So this master is tackling this thing through collaboration, learning trips, facilitation practice, and also through the creation of a research project in which they can apply all the different knowledges and tools that they acquire throughout the program. And what does it mean is, well, learn, innovate, and teach each other, which is also a way of sharing. Here I leave you all the web pages and videos. They are in Spanish, so it's what we have for now. So yeah, it's an invitation to rethink the way we do and think, and generate a change in the personal and also in the professional aspect of ourselves. Then we have FLOW, which is a diploma on learning facilitation in organizations. We were explaining a little bit about what we do in the San Pablo State University. We will tell you more about it in a while, but it's very related to this diploma. FLOW stands for Chief Learning Officer. And the idea is to lead transformation processes in organizations through strategic learning. It's 7 months long, and the experience is aimed to transform the house, not the house, but the how we do things, how we think, how we interact. So yeah, it's the idea is also that we change the role, we change the way we accompany. And in these transformation processes that happen in organizations, many times people inside of organizations are left aside, and changes only happen in the upper segments. And the idea is to incorporate all the people in the organization in this cultural transformation. Yes. Some of the three pillars, we could say, are critical reflection on the own professional practice and the leadership style in organizations. The project, you can see that in every program, projects are very important. The idea is to apply in a real context all the learnings of the program, and also practice, because we learn by doing. And FLOW is really based on the incorporation of soft skills. So basically it provides a change in personal professional life, incorporation of new tools to work with teams, and also new ways of doing and thinking. And as our last program, we have Nuevos Roles, which is a diploma in learning facilitation in education. So before we were talking about organizations, now we are focusing on educative centers and also how we can change the dynamic inside of the classroom. And well, it's also designed by Tina from Mondragon University. The idea is to incorporate all the innovation and facilitation inside this ecosystem. We are also working on the transformation of the house, of the way of doing, and it's an experiential and collaborative process. Key elements are critical self-reflection, the project, and practice as well. Basically, we are accompanying people in the incorporation of new tools in order to develop all these change processes, and also in this process of getting to know ourselves and other people, and transforming the way we live these processes and also the teams. And that being said, well, those were the programs, and now we are working on the consolidation, let's say, of our Team Labs education line. So I'm going to tell you a bit of this. Maybe you want to introduce the objectives?
Yeah, I think that at the same level that we do as with our own programs, that we need to, to raise that, we need to elevate the level of self-leadership, self-learning of our students, and also the professionals around this kind of ecosystems based on education and learning. Because for us, I think that we don't move also just in education area. We move around the learning concept, because for us, it's more complete. I think that, and also it's more difficult because learning, learning combine many things. I think that it's not easy. It's not easy to translate or to it's not easy to imagine one thing that maybe could force to learn and people, the motivation, the context, the team, the subjects, there are many aspects that maybe cause some strong or maybe influence in the strong opinion, or I think that it's not easy. And as Lucia said before, we have two lines. The first line is our own programs that we deliver in our own laboratories in Madrid and in Barcelona. Also, we could do in other parts of the world. And also, in order to get that impact, in order to spread our mindset, we opened a new line that we started three years before. We started in Mexico with Tecnológico de Monterrey. Tecnológico de Monterrey is one of the largest university in Latam. I think that they have approximately 100 key students in the whole Mexico. I think that it's a huge number of pupils around Mexico. They have 25 camps around Mexico, and in order to do this, create and develop a methodological and cultural transformation model tested in organization that allows to express of our face the next model to the world. It means all the things that we explained before, like this kind of specific mindset that we need in order to achieve these complex problems, not just an individual, but as a team. In order to do this, we also promote this kind of a facilitator role, and we do as a strategic role, that as a key element to deal with the uncertainty and with the future challenges of the society of the unknown. As we explained before, it's something related to system thinking. It's more like a system approach, like an individual approach. and also make our programs become a transformation level of the higher education space, as we explain, Lucia explained later. Yeah, and I think that the thing that we are doing right now is, or the line that we are doing right now is working with some large education organizations like San Paulo CEU, and at the same level that we did with Tecnológico de Monterrey in the past. And yeah, from my point of view, that when you work on transformative processes, you work with that emerges, because culture is an emergent process. Like, I think that when you work with persons, when you work with people, when you work with groups of people, you need to take into account many things. And also, you don't know when something emerges in a different direction. I think that this is really hard. This is the main reason why. This is the main reason, because we try to work with a systemic approach, not just an individual approach, at the same level that we did with our own pupils in our own programs. I think that when you face with transformative processes, we need to work with leadership models, communication, strategic design, hierarchical design, incentive architecture, collaborative work, teamwork, systemic thinking, project-based work, in some cases, training programs, also business vision, because I think that the business is always there, and also for sure we have to deal with just specific things that they happen in the specific area that we work around. In this case, with education, like with pedagogic things and many specific aspects of the educational things. But we more put strong focus on self-learning motivation, self-leadership aspects, and project-based learning as a team. With these three aspects, we try to build the whole ecosystems around learning processes. And I think that this is really hard, because all these areas must be orchestrated in a choral and strategic way, so that it impacts in different areas and at different times. And then we work with that emerge, trying to give meaning and direction, because sometimes it's different and sometimes it's difficult, in order to provide support, to give meaning of what happened, or maybe clarify this kind of what happened right now. I don't understand anything. Well, okay. Yeah, you don't worry, I support you. And then we try to discover what is happening and what is the next. Of course. Yeah, as I mentioned before, this requires the full support. Yeah, yes, not the support of knowledge, it's support emotional, and also psychological, because it's so intense process. You know what I mean? And support those positions with the greatest responsibility in the company, greatest responsibility, because you are dealing with the lives of people, lives of organization. Is really hard. Sometimes it's also hard for us. Without that support, it's useless. And even with that support, the most normal thing is that grades advance, but not achieved either. And I think that we are very humble with our objectives. We are very humble because when you are trying to cause sympathy, when you are trying to support this kind of change, it's not easy to create great advances in the process of impact. But I think that maybe you could also, Lucy, you could also explain a little further.
Yes, of course. Well, Historia is a program that we're implementing since 3 years ago in University of San Paulo CEU. It has been growing a lot year by year. As to focus more on the objectives, we could say that the idea is to train and activate students with knowledge, skills, and criteria, so that they can understand what they live in, love it, and also decide to be those active change makers that society needs. Also, there's an aspect focused on teachers, no? In the updating and enriching of all the teaching activity and the curricular content. So we're working with new tools, active methodologies, ways of teaching. We are getting into the classroom, we are observing what they do, we're giving them feedback, we are promoting continuous training, we're generating internal collaborations with the environment. So it's all aimed to really empower also the teachers and also make them see that they can facilitate the learning process. There's also an objective that is aimed to align all the teaching innovation initiatives inside the university, because in Spanish we say that they are explorando. So this means that some of them were already doing things that are aligned with the objectives of this program, this objective of transforming the way we teach and the way we learn. But there were like really disregarded, like they were really dispersed, yes. And now we're trying to join all the initiatives into one same mindset and to be one. Eventually, our objective is to name Exploria, so that it becomes an implicit aspect of the university, just a way of thinking, a way of doing, a way of being. And also, well, the last objective will be to develop an active and comprehensive learning model, where we can see the relationship between student, teachers, student and environment, etc. Here are a bit of our ethos, main actions and moments and throughout this process. So we started in just 3 years ago with the testing and iteration of the model. The first pilots began in 6 degrees at Madrid and Valencia. So yeah, from scratch, the objective was to generate cultural transformation and through collaborative work. And there we settled the OKRs, the objectives and key results. And we started testing the model. We generated a pilot project, and we started testing it. And then we came up with this figure, with this figure of the internal facilitator, which would be the person and the group of people that eventually will acquire the role that we have in this present moment. We are accompanying the transformation of the organization. We are accompanying the internal facilitators, the leaders, the decanos, the deans, I think it's that. We're accompanying many of these agents inside the university. The idea is that we start training these internal facilitators so that when we disappear, there are figures inside the university that can carry out the facilitation process internally. Year 1, which was last year, came with new degrees, incorporation of new degrees, and also the Barcelona country. In total, we had already 15 faculties involved in Exploria implementation with the degrees. And we also included more training, more pedagogical training, because university teachers many times are professionals in a determined area, but don't have the pedagogical mindset, skills, tools, etc. So we started training them so that they could start implementing in their classrooms all the methodologies and evaluation systems and things that we were promoting. So training became a really important aspect to give the quality and the depth that the project requires. We also started working more with leaders and with students, because we started measuring the impact of the project with focus groups, which gave us lots of feedback. And feedback for us is key aspect. And now we are in year 2, which is like the 3rd year. Cultural changes is in the center of a flower, and the four like ways of implementing it are the operative, the strategic, the knowledge, and internal facilitators. And knowledge, because we are also insisting a lot on the documentation of the process, so that we can really leave tangible knowledge inside the university. Javier, I don't know if you want to add something else about this.
No, I think that these are 5 aspects that we try to put focus on in terms of cultural change in this kind of year 3, but we call year 2 because the first one is 0 in terms of we needed time to know each other. And I think that, yeah, I think that I don't know if many people know something about San Pablo CEU. San Pablo CEU is a large corporation with more than 80 years of the agency of is one of the top 3 universities here in Spain. They have more than 15,000 students along of the country, and I think that the challenge is it's really big in order to orchestrate all those things, all those aspects, in order to bring that change. And I think that and we don't know what change means sometimes. As Lucia said before, we try to face with this kind of challenges, and we need to move this kind of vortex in trying to pay attention of this kind of 5 aspects. Yeah, and I think that that's all Exploria means. I think that it's hard to explain in just words what brings with the day-to-day. I think that because the uncertainty and the many things that came up into bring to the reality when you try to just change one thing, it's amazing. Just when you are just change the role leadership, then you like the many conflicts emerge into the reality, and it's really hard to face with more than 30,000 employees and put in the same line and aligning again. And I think that it's really hard, and it's not easy to explain in just words. And I don't know if Lucy, could you explain before?
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I explained this a little bit. Yeah, so Fabi said it's like it's a project that is very passionate because we are learning all the time ourselves. We're training ourselves in different methodologies, in different things. The teams require things from us, and maybe we don't know them, and we need to train ourselves in them. So it's like constant evolution. It's really intense and also passionate. So, well, as I said before, the idea is that this project can be assumed internally by CEU University, maybe next year. Let's see. So we need to leave install capacity in the leaders and the team, and this figure that we call internal facilitator, so that they can achieve a higher level of autonomy regarding the internal facilitation processes. And how will we get there? Well, through training strategies, the accompaniment of these internal facilitators. We're also co-facilitating together with the team leaders so that they can have us side to side, but our figure is like each year that passes is more like on the back stage. As I said before, we're also observing the classes, giving feedback to teachers, and talking to the students, because they are our clients, but they are our user. We can receive like so much from them, so we're incorporating their voice, and it's nice that I had a team last year, architecture. They were awesome and so humble about their learning process. Actually, they were one of the best teams in terms of the incorporation of all that Xperia means, the most humble. And when they received the results of the focus group, they were so like, okay, we're gonna implement this, let's see what we can learn. And that's what we need. The teams that grow and take more profit of this program are the ones who are more open to learning. That's what this is about. So I don't know, Gabriel, if you want to ask any questions to us, because I don't know if people from outside can ask.
Yeah, no, Lucia and Javier, it was very clear, very powerful, very impressive how you've covered all angles, and it's a really very wholesome implementation. So thanks for that. No, the final question would be, how do you see the future of the program? Do you see it extending? And inevitably, how does this maybe spread out to K-12 education? Do you see any future there?
Lucia, could you?
Yes. Well, with the TeamLabs education line, I think the idea is that we can share this model with the world. We're aiming to transform as many organizations as we can. Just yesterday, TeamLabs presented the new line in the context of its 10-year birthday, we could say, anniversary. and the slogan is Face the Next. There are many projects. We're working with different agents, companies, educating institutions, also public institutions. So the idea is to accompany the transformation of organizations in different areas of life. So we're expanding our model, and we're trying to get as far as we can. So also open to potential collaboration.
We strongly believe that we need to erase the borders between education and companies. We need to erase the borders, the gap between, like the reality of the market, like I think that, and then we need to face this kind of gap. And I think that we put our strengths in order to close this gap. And as Lucia said before, and we put this kind of principles in our designs, in our strategies, in our new programs, and this, I think that this is our main strategy, and I think that this, for us, this is the future. The future is close the gap, close this gap, in order to empower the people, empower the leadership, empower the self-learning skills, and we need just to support this kind of process. And like this is our main purpose in the future, I guess.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We are going to stop the recording now. So if you want to say goodbye before I do that.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you for the space, and thanks to everyone that is listening out there. It's been
Thanks for supporting the project. Then I'm going to ask you, Lou, for some links and pointers so that we can add it to the page. Okay?
Of course. Yes. Thank you.